Welcome to another video lesson from the Jelly Roll Club. Hey Quilty friends, welcome to month 7 of the Dresden Project. In order to complete this project, you will need 4 Jelly Roll strips of white, 4 of background, a scrap for the center, and an 18-degree Dresden template. If you don't have one, you can find one on our website at www.jellyrollclub.com. Please subscribe to the channel, like it, and share with your friends. We appreciate it. Okay, let's get started. Okay, now that you have all of your supplies, you're going to grab your background fabric. In this case, mine is navy, and my Daisy print, which is white. And then I'm going to have my scrap of yellow for my center. And then I'm going to be using an 18-degree Dresden template, which requires 20 blades. If you do not have an acrylic template, you can always download a template on our website at www.jellyrollclub.com. There's links under the Dresden Project of the month. Okay, so now you're going to take your strips. You can use a ruler. I'm going to be cutting these pieces 4.5 inches. So this is one of my favorite rulers that I use, so I'm just going to turn those around. I'm going to stack it about 2 thick. I don't like to do it too thick, so I just use 2 pieces at a time, and I cut them 4.5 inches. So these are 4.5 inches by 2.5 inches. So that's what you're going to be working with. Those are your pieces. Next, you're going to do the same exact thing to the background fabric and to the Daisy print fabric. You're going to cut it 4.5 inches. And you're going to need enough pieces for a full Dresden. So once you're done, you're just going to quickly count that you have all of your pieces. You need 10 of the background and 10 of the Daisy print, so 20 total. Once you have all of those pieces, I went ahead and I cut some fusible web. I'm using Pellon 802, which is an ultra lightweight fusible web, and I'm cutting it into strips. My strips are 2.5 inches wide because I'm going to be using the fusible method to attach my daisy petals to my background. So remember, 2.5 inches wide. You can use a rotary cutter, it makes it fast. And then I'm going to cross cut all of those strips that I've cut using my smaller ruler, and I'm going to cut them 2.5 inches square. So 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. Once you've cut all of those pieces that are 2.5 by 2.5, you need 10 of those. You're going to set them aside. And now you're going to fold all of your background pieces and your daisy pieces, and you're going to fold them in half and give them a quick little press. You can finger press these if you want to, if you don't want to use your iron. But it doesn't take any time at all. You're just giving them a quick press. By the way, this fabric has been washed and it is not starched. I tend to use very little starch on my fabrics because I find that it's not necessary. So now that you have all of those pieces, it's time to cut your Dresden wedges. If you leave it folded in half and you put the folded edge to the inside of the template and the open edge to the outside, you can just trim one side. By doing that, it allows you to just open up the little Dresden wedge and you've already cut it, instead of having to go up one side and down another. You can cut 2 of them at a time if you want to. It just makes it really fast. Line it up and just give it a trim. on that open side. Once you have trimmed all of your pieces, now we're going to take care of the daisy pieces. So for the daisy pieces, you're going to take some of that fusible web and you're going to put it on the wrong side of your daisy petals. So you have 10 daisy petals and 10 background petals. So you're just going to give that a press. And you're going to let those cool and you're going to set them aside. Again, these are 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. And I'm going to press them using my manufacturer's instructions. So you have to read the little paper that comes with the fusible web to see how long you need to press that. Once I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and take my template, the same one I used for my background fabric, and I'm going to cut my wedges that are 4.5 inches by 2.5 inches. Because this has the paper backing on there still, I'm just going to flip them around and trim them from both sides instead of folding them. Then once you're done, you can peel your paper backing for the fusible web. And do that for all 10 pieces. Once you've done that, then you're going to sew these pieces wrong sides away from each other, right sides together. And I'm going to sew to the middle. I'm going to back tack a little bit and then I'm going to go back down. And so once I've sewn that halfway up, I'm going to press my seam open. Now normally I don't press my seam open. So in other episodes of the Dresden Project, I've talked about how I rarely press them open, but in this case, I want my daisy petals to have some dimension, so I'm going to fold those towards themselves, and so they're going to be pressed open. Because it has fusible web, I'm going to finger press it first, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to make 10 sets of those. Just so you can see a close-up of how I'm sewing, I'm going to sew all the way to that middle crease. I'm going to pause, and then I'm going to back stitch a few stitches before trimming my threads. And I'm going to do that to all of my pieces. Like in other Dresdens that we've sewn before, you're going to sew those in pairs, so twos. And I'm going to finger press these as I go. And then I put them together in units of 4. So first 2 at a time and then 4 at a time. So you're just going to keep sewing those together. And then you're going to put 2 halves of this project together. So I have the bottom half and the top half. And just like you did everything else, you're going to sew down that side. You're going to stop halfway through. So I just fold it in half and kind of pinch it to set my little spot to mark it for me. And I do the same thing. I bring both of those together. And I'm going to sew halfway down just like I did everything else. Last, I'm going to take my background and I'm going to lay my daisy on top of my background. And as you can see, once you lay that down, those background strips disappear. I'm going to trim those into the shape of daisy petals, just like the white ones. And I'm going to press my center section that I've already interfaced in the middle, and voila, there you go, a daisy Dresden. Don't forget to leave your comments and questions below. Hit that like and subscribe, and thank you for watching another video lesson from the Jelly Roll Club.